comment,
and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Popcast. I am DK Wrestler.
And I am MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, we are back to talking about Funko Pop announcements throughout the past week. Considering that last week, which I should kick off by saying thank you to everyone who had tuned in last week to our first fandom-related podcast of 2022, which was on Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And then I might as well say thank you to anyone who may be brand new to the channel and are listening to our podcast for the first time since subscribing to us after our mystery box battle against Top Pops this past week. So thank you if you are one of those new subscribers that are tuning into the podcast. You will not be disappointed. So today we have to kind of go back a little bit. Since we did have our fandom related podcast last week, we still have a little bit of April 2022 Funko Pops to discuss about, since that's what we were last discussing about on this podcast. We also will have the update because today we will be kicking off with May 2022 Funko Pop announcements, but we're actually only going to be doing the first two announcements of May 2022, which were of Manga Spiderman and the Stranger Things 4 Funko Pops, considering we thought that'd be cool to kick off next week's podcast by discussing about the Star Wars Celebration Pops. And then by then we should be caught up with everything. So bear with us. We're a little behind on Funko Pop announcements due to that fandom related podcast. But without further ado, we might as well kick off with those last set of April 2022 Funko Pop announcements, which kicking off on April 25th, Funko had announced a pop comic covers of Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, which will be a Target exclusive, and it's unknown yet of when this pop will be releasing. Then on April 26th, Funko had confirmed on the drop website of the pops featured in the DC Comics NFT pop drop, which first we got ourselves a Gotham by Daylight Batman, and we got the Eradicator, which both of those will be limited to 2,050 pieces, a Rebirth Batman, which will be limited to 999 pieces, a Rebirth The Flash, which will be limited to 2,050 pieces, a Kyle Rayner Green Lantern, also limited to 2,050 pieces, and then a Freddy Funko as Batman, which will be limited to 2,694 pieces, which the cards were available last Thursday, May 5th. On that same day, GameStop had announced their own exclusive pop of a metallic Kasuke Bakugo from My Hero Academia, which will be a part of a Pop and Tea bundle. And this is available now online on GameStop's website and is starting to hit stores now. Then on April 27th, Entertainment Earth had announced their own exclusive pop of J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man, in which this is expected to release as early as June 2022. On April 28th, Funko had announced a pop VHS covers of Cusco from The Emperor's New Groove, which will be an Amazon exclusive and is expected to release as early as September 2022. On that same day, Funimation had announced their own exclusive pop of Whis Eating Noodles from Dragon Ball Super, in which that is available now on the Funimation website. And then the last day of April reveals happened on April 29th, which first off, we got ourselves some new Jurassic Park announcements, which there was a re-announcement of the John Hammond with the Park Gate Pop Town that we had already discussed about a few weeks back, but there are new pops announced of a Muldoon Raptor Hunt pop movie moments and a Diamond Collection Mr. DNA, which both of those will be Target exclusives and unknown yet of when these will be releasing at Target. On that same day, Funko had announced a pop of Harley Quinn with Belt, which will be a previews exclusive and is expected to release as early as August 2022. And last but not least, we have a pop of Pedro Martinez from the Boston Red Sox, which this pop will be given out to the first 7,500 fans in attendance for the September 1st, 2022 game against the Texas Rangers. So kicking off with the Groot pop comic covers, I really like the design of the pop comic covers. I think it's really cool how they basically have Groot in the exact same position as it is in the cover there. Then we got ourselves the NFT DC Pops, which received a lot of positive reaction from the Funko fanatics because there are a lot of DC fans out there. And with this set, this probably has to be one of my favorite NFT drops. And it's not for the fact of, wow, I'm a DC fan, because normally I don't collect DC. But the reason that I do like this is because you don't feel pressured to get all of the pops, especially because I know there are some people who just collect Batman. So at this point, you would only need to collect 2 pops unless you really want that Freddy Funko pop. Let's say if obviously you are a Green Lantern fan, which a lot of people were hyped over this Green Lantern, you'd only have to focus on 1 pop. And that way, if you were one of those people that did participate in the NFT drop, then let's say you got, for example, the Eradicator, but you wanted the Green Lantern, then you're able to do kind of that secondary market trading through the Atomic Hub website with someone who may want that Eradicator and not their Green Lantern. And then you're able to do that trade instead of forking up so much money for the cards so that you try to get all of them and then spending more money on the Atomic Hub secondary market website. And I hope that Funko continues to do stuff like this instead of, let's say, the normal Scooby-Doo drop, for example, the previous one before the DC one, where let's say you are a hardcore Scooby-Doo fan, then you were forced to kind of fork up a bunch of money to get all of the Scooby-Doo NFT pops, while we have sets like this where you don't have to get all of them. I hope in the future, let's say, for example, they end up doing Toy Story NFT pops, which would just break my wallet, that they just do a Pixar lineup, or let's say they have a couple of Toy Story, a couple of Monsters Inc., and let's say maybe a Coco or something, and then call it a day instead of doing an entire lineup of Coco, an entire lineup of Toy Story, an entire lineup of Monsters Inc., et cetera, upon et cetera. Then we got the Kasuke Bakugo pop, the metallic Kasuke Bakugo with the Pop and Tea bundle, and this is meh. The only good thing about this, I find, is the t-shirt because it's a very cool design. You got his name there and the fact that he's a part of Class 1A. And then the box is a little meh like usual. And then the pop is not the greatest because it's literally the same Kasuke Bakugo from the very first wave of My Hero Academia, except with a specification. Then we got J. Jonah Jameson from Spiderman, and this is a wicked pop. I actually think that this is a much better J. Jonah Jameson than from the, I believe it was Spider-Man Far From Home. I almost wanted to say No Way Home, but it's Far From Home set, where it was a pop in a box exclusive. And that pop looked more like Howard Finkel, but at the same time, he didn't have the full head of hair that he does essentially here, which is why I like this, because when I look at this, I'm like, okay, this is J. Jonah Jameson. But if you look at the other one, it's more like that kind of looks like Howard Finkel from WWE. We got Cusco from The Emperor's New Groove in a pop VHS covers. And this kind of brings up my point of how I don't understand why they didn't just do a Disney themed for the VHS covers, because now you have 6 of them. 5 of them are Disney covers, but 1 of them are just from, a regular movie. So like The Godfather was number 2 and the rest are from Disney movies. So I don't know why they didn't just keep it with the Disney theme, but it is what it is. This is pretty decent. I know that there was a lot of hype as terms to this covers because people love Emperor's New Groove pops. And now you have a VHS covers and you got a new version of Cusco when he is in the llama form, because I think they did 1 pop before, but I bet that there were some people that never got to obtain that. So I guess this is a way to obtain it. And you're only paying about like a $5 difference from what it was retail because it's in the VHS form. I can't wait to actually see how this looks in person. Then we got Whis eating noodles from Dragon Ball Super. And this is okay. We've seen a lot, or not a lot, but a decent amount of eating noodles pops at this point. Naruto eating noodles from Naruto. We've had Vegeta, I believe, Goku and Piccolo possibly eating noodles at this point. And now we have Whis, which I guess it's all right. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else really to say because we have seen a lot of these noodles pops, but at the same time, we haven't seen as much noodles pops as we've seen of Disney princess pops wearing gold dresses. Then we got the Jurassic Park pops with the movie moments of Muldoon Raptor Hunt, which this is pretty decent. I love the detail of the guy sitting there and kind of getting scared by the T-Rex there. And then we have a Diamond Collection Mr. DNA, which, I mean, was there really a point of making this Diamond Collection? I don't exactly know because it's been a long time since I've seen Jurassic Park. And then we got ourselves Alexa Bliss. I mean, Harley Quinn, because this does look like Alexa Bliss a little bit with the different color hair there, the blue and the pink, even though obviously that most likely Alexa Bliss's hair was based off of Harley Quinn to begin with. But yeah, she is wearing a wrestling attire. She's wearing knee pads. She's got boots. She's got some sort of attire, and she has a championship title or belt, whatever term you want to use, that says like a boss. And then she's got a band-aid across her face. So this is a pretty decent pop, a unique take on Harley Quinn. And then we got ourselves Pedro Martinez from the Boston Red Sox. And this is pretty decent because we don't see a lot of Boston Red Sox pops as terms to these giveaways, at least from what I can remember. There could have been a couple, but I know they have done a lot of San Francisco Giants and the Seattle Mariners, since obviously Seattle is so close to Everett, Washington, where Funko is based out of. So it's cool that they are expanding on different teams. If, let's say, there hasn't been a Boston Red Sox giveaway pop yet, these are going to sell for a decent price at first on the secondary market, since these are only going to be technically limited to 7,500 pieces.
Okay, starting off with the Groot comic book cover. This is awesome. This is great. We have a comic book cover where the pop is essentially identical to its character on the front of the cover, and I think that that is great. The pose looks amazing. The way that the facial expression and the way that the face of Groot looks like in this form of Groot looks just spectacular. It's pretty identical. I really do like this. If I was a bigger fan of Groot per se, I would probably end up getting this, but I don't think I will. The only thing that I think that could make this better is that if the weapon that he has in his hands, the blue parts, if they were glow in the dark, considering the cover, they do seem to be glowing. So that's the only thing, but it's not something that necessarily needs to happen. So this is actually definitely a contender for one of my favorite comic book covers, just because of how accurate it looks and how I personally think comic book covers should look. Then we have the DC NFT drop, and DK summed this one up pretty good. This is a pretty good NFT drop because, yeah, you don't feel pressured to need to get all of these pops, and there's a decent selection of some like more obscure characters, obviously, like the Eradicator. That's a pretty cool looking pop. Kyle Rayner Green Lantern, that's pretty sweet as well. I can definitely see that being kind of the pop that most people want. I do think that the Freddy Funko as Batman looks pretty good. I like the pose. I like the way the cape is. I think that that's a pretty solid looking Freddy Funko. So overall, I'm not disappointed with this NFT drop, which is great, because normally we see, like in the past, like stuff that we've seen where it's pops that you might actually need to get for a collection, whereas it's basically like playing the lottery with these things. So you're not guaranteed anything. And on the secondary market, I have seen some of those pops definitely going for some pretty dang crazy prices. So I'm liking this one. Then we have the GameStop exclusive Bakugo pop and t-shirt bundle, and this has got to be one of the worst ones I've seen in quite some time. I can't remember one that I didn't like, that I liked less than this, I guess you could say. The pop itself is just metallic, which I don't think is necessary, especially on the hair. I could understand on the like gauntlets that he wears on his fists. That kind of makes sense, but the hair does not make sense. So the pop itself, not great. Then I'll get to the box. The box, also not great. We've definitely talked about this many of times where we're not really liking the pop and tea bundle boxes because they're not fun anymore. They used to have fun designs. If it was like comic book character, the box would look like a stack of comic books. Or, for example, the Looney Tunes one where you can see all four sides of the box with Sylvester and Tweety and different like shots of each angle of their heads. That's pretty cool. There was just a bunch of really cool ones. And then we have stuff like this where it's pretty plain, and then you have that window that shows off the pop. Like we've said, though, it definitely is more of a marketing thing because you can clearly see that, one, the pop is blatantly right there in your face with the window, but then there's also a design of the t-shirt right on there. So it really shows people that wouldn't necessarily know otherwise that, yeah, this is a figure and a t-shirt. But come on, Funko, it's in your name. Let's be a little bit more fun. And then the t-shirt itself is also not the greatest. It's decent because it looks like a comic book cover, I guess, but that doesn't really make sense. I guess it would kind of make sense for a manga of My Hero Academia, but I don't know. It's very plain. The pop artwork illustration on the t-shirt is just what the pop looks like. There's no posing. Yeah, this whole thing is bad. All three of the pieces of this Pop and T combo just are not great. Then we have the new Entertainment Earth exclusive J. Jonah Jameson, and this is pretty sweet. I definitely like this. I think I do like the other J. Jonah Jameson a little bit better. I don't know why I like that one better, but this one's not bad. I do like that we get one now where he has the full head of hair, and it's cool that he has the Daily Bugle in his hand that says Spider-Man Threat or Menace, and then you get a little action shot of Spider-Man and he is popified, which is great. I'm loving that Funko has been doing those small details and showing that it's kind of being all in the world of Funko Pops, which is just awesome. Yeah, this is a solid pop. Then we have number 6 in the VHS covers lineup, the Amazon exclusive Cusco from Emperor's New Groove. And this is wicked. I'm so happy about this. I love the Emperor's New Groove. I really enjoy the Cusco pop that I do own. That was a Hot Topic exclusive where Cusco is the llama. But now we have a kind of different version where he has kind of the pose from the cover, which is great. And then he also has the crown, I guess you could call it, on his head, which is awesome because I think we only see that with the human form of Cusco. So this is wicked. I'm glad that Funko keeps pumping out the Emperor's New Groove pops because I will definitely be buying them because I'm in love with this movie. I love this movie and this cover looks great. Super excited about this pop. Next, we have Whis eating noodles. And yeah, I'm kind of sick of these now. At first, it was fun when we had the Naruto and the Goku, and then maybe even the Vegeta, because personally, I am a Vegeta guy. But now we're getting too many of these. I think they would look kind of cool if you had them out of box. Like, let's say if you weren't like a huge collector of Funko and you had like, let's say the 5 or 6 that they have now of eating noodles variations of these characters, if you had them like on a desk and they looked like they were all eating noodles together, that's kind of cool. But I just don't think as like a Dragon Ball collector would be like, okay, yeah, like I gotta go collect a Goku, a Vegeta, and a Piccolo, and now a Whis, and they're just eating noodles. It's a cool idea, but I think for completionists of Dragon Ball Pops, this is going to be just something that they feel obligated to buy rather than something that they want to have. Then we got some more Jurassic Park Pops, which is really awesome. And we have the Muldoon Raptor Hunt. And this is pretty sweet. These movie moments Jurassic Park Pops are looking awesome. They're super cool poses and the bases themselves look great. And this is exactly the same. This looks awesome. You can see exactly the fright and just a wicked pose. This is so cool. I definitely could see a lot of people wanting to get this, even if you're not the hugest Jurassic Park fan. I think that this is an awesome addition to a Funko Pop collection because it's just crazy how far Funko has come, especially with these movie moment pops. And then we have the Diamond Collection, Mr. DNA. And yeah, I don't think this was necessary. It's hard to tell by the glam shot exactly how this is going to look, but I think that the first one was great, and I don't think that there needed to be a second variation of any kind. So yeah, this isn't great, I guess, but I would like to see it in person because maybe that would change my opinion. Maybe I think, oh, this actually looks cool. This might be better than the original, but I highly doubt that. And then DK actually stole my joke. I was going to say that this looks like Alexa Bliss, and it really does because of the wrestling attire. Obviously, Alexa Bliss's hair is probably based off of Harley Quinn. I mean, that's kind of hard to deny. But because of the wrestling attire and the belt, it definitely does give more of a feel of Alexa Bliss. This is a pretty cool Harley Quinn pop. We don't, or at least we haven't really seen Harley Quinn pops that are very different from what we see. Obviously, there was the like Birds of Prey. There was tons of Harley Quinn pops for that. And then like we have seen Harley Quinn pops in the past, obviously, but nothing kind of like this, kind of in the, I guess I could say Deadpool style, where it's kind of a little bit of a different swing of the character, let's say. I mean, it's no Raptor Deadpool, but it is Alexa Bliss in a wrestling Alexa Bliss. It is Harley Quinn in wrestling gear, which is pretty cool. And then we have the Pedro Martinez pop, and this is pretty cool. I don't mind this. Some of the baseball pops have definitely been catching my eye recently, especially I've been getting a little bit bigger into baseball watching it. Yeah, this is cool. I like the pose. I don't know if we've seen a ton of pops. I don't think we have seen a ton of pitching pops in this pose. This might actually be the first one. I don't remember seeing this pose, but maybe it's just because of how the pop itself looks. Overall, it's a pretty cool baseball pop.
Are you looking for great pop protectors? Then look no further than popbox.ca. They have a variety of 4-inch and 6-inch protectors in different quantities. Do you want to get 10 protectors, 20? You can get even up to 250 pop protectors over on popbox.ca. And also use our promo code of Funko Popcast for 10% off of your entire purchase of pop protectors. The code is going on until supplies last. So go get your pop protector needs now over on popbox.ca using our code of Funko Popcast to get 10% off.
And let me tell you guys, we're not just screwing around here. These are some great pop protectors. We own a multitude of these protectors. They are some of the best I've seen. Stop buying from EB Games. I'm not boycotting EB Games by any means, but their pop protectors are not as good. So again, use code Funko Popcast for 10% off.
All right, so now we're going to move on to our segment, The Update, which those new to the podcast, The Update is the segment where, as said in the title, we have to update our top 10 list from a few weeks back since we are officially over and done with April 2022, and we're ready to jump into May 2022, or as I like to call it, International DK Wrestler Month, since my birthday is in the month of May. For this update, we're going to be going through our list and essentially mention what our top 10 list up until the point to where it does not change. So example, if there are 2 spots on the list that have changed that you mentioned from that spot until when the next spot happens, and then you don't mention the rest because then you guys would have to tune into the podcast from a couple weeks ago where we did do our top 10 list at that point. So I might as well kick off first to kind of demonstrate this. So coming in at number 10, and it's a brand new pop added to this list, is the Amazon exclusive Cusco pop VHS covers. I like the detail involved with obviously not only the pop, but the cover overall. People are super excited about this pop, so the overall hype is there. And then my own personal reaction, I thought it was a cool idea to do Emperor's New Groove as a pop VHS cover. So that's why it's at the number 10 spot. Coming in at number 9, but originally at number 8, the last time we did this list, is the Amazon exclusive Qui-Gon Jinn Duel of Fates Pop Deluxe. Then coming in at number 8, but originally number 7, is the Doctor Strange Pop comic covers. Coming in at number 7, but originally number 6, is the Entertainment Earth exclusive Macho King Randy Savage. Coming in at number 6, but originally number 5, is the Previews exclusive Glow in the Dark Venom Pop comic covers. And then the next pop added, and it's the last pop that's going to be mentioned because I only updated it with 2 pops, is a pop that I actually forgot to add to the list last week, and that is the Entertainment Earth exclusive Homer in Hedges from The Simpsons. Like I mentioned, I actually forgot to add this pop because I actually meant to add this to the list, and it's basically at the spot where I want it to be at number 5 because there is a lot of hype because, of course, people love Simpsons Funko Pops, and it's from a moment that's really super popular because it's been transformed into this meme at this point. And I think even for such a simplistic, I guess, design, it's still pretty detailed at the same time. A huge contender for one of the top 50 Funko Pops of 2022 when we do that podcast essentially at the end of this year. So that is my updated list. MD Shady, has your list updated for the month of April?
My list has updated, and I've actually only added 1 pop onto the list. So I guess coming in now at number 10, originally number 9, I have the Foodies Popcorn Bucket. Coming in at number 9, originally number 8, I have the Venom comic book covers. Coming in at number 8, originally number 7, is the Make-A-Wish Spider-Man. Coming in at number 7, originally number 6, is the Macho King Randy Savage. Coming in at number 6, originally number 5, is the Thor Pop Ride. Coming in at number 5, originally number 4, is Buzz with Socks from Lightyear. Coming in at number 4, originally number 3, is the Box Lunch Glow in the Dark Khonshu. Coming in at number 3, originally number 2, is Zurg from Lightyear. And then the new addition to the list, now coming in at number 2, is the Amazon exclusive VHS cover Cusco from Emperor's New Groove.
All right, so now that we're done with the update, we are going to move on to the first set of May 2022 Funko Pop announcements. There's only 2 days worth of announcements. So like we mentioned, we're going to kick off with those Star Wars pops next week on the podcast, and hopefully we'll be updated then. Kicking off on May 1st, Pop Culture had announced an exclusive pop of Mangaverse Spider-Man for the Beyond Amazing set. And this has been announced later on by Funko as an Amazon exclusive, and it is available now. And then on May 2nd, Funko had confirmed pops for the upcoming season of Stranger Things, which first off, we have ourselves common pops of 11, Mike, Steve, Robin, Lucas, Will, Dustin, and Max, with exclusive pops of Basketball Lucas, which will be going to Walmart, a white attired Dustin, which will be going to Hot Topic. We got 11 in the Rainbow Room Pop Deluxe and a 4-inch pop of Eddie, which will be Target exclusives. 11 in kind of a white outfit, which will be an Amazon exclusive. A Dustin with purple attire, which will be a GameStop exclusive. And then we have ourselves a Mike 11, Dustin, and Lucas 8-bit 4-pack, which will be exclusive to Target. And these are expected to release as early as August 2022. So kicking off with the Mangaverse Spider-Man, and I think this is actually a pretty unique variant of a Spider-Man pop. I love the way the mask looks because it gives that kind of, I guess, Andrew Garfield-esque look where like the eyes are super big compared to a lot of the Spider-Man eyes. The outfit is also really cool, especially the way they did the spider for the logo on the chest there. I think that's really cool. And especially it does give me that kind of manga slash, I guess, anime-esque feel because he looks like he's wearing gloves like Deku would wear in My Hero Academia. So I really like that. It's a really unique version of Spider-Man, to be honest. And I'm sure that even people who don't know this version of Spider-Man might actually get it because of the way it looks and how it looks actually pretty cool. And then we got ourselves the Stranger Things 4 Funko Pops, which I am pumped about the new season coming out, which part 1 comes out the weekend of my birthday on the Friday, May 27th, with my birthday being the 29th, in case anyone wanted to know. And then part 2 coming out on Canada Day, July 1st. So that's going to be pretty cool to watch those episodes for the season. So with the common pops, these are pretty decent. I like how these look really close to accurate to what the actors actually look like. The pop of Will, like you can literally tell that it's Will just by the way they made the hair. And especially with Mike also, it's like, yeah, I can definitely see that being Mike there. And then just all these pops look really cool. And I'm really curious about how they're going to milk the whole thinking cap thing with Dustin. I'm sure it's going to be entertaining as hell because Dustin is such a great character in Stranger Things. Yeah, these common pops are pretty decent. The exclusive pops are also pretty cool, especially that 11 in the Rainbow Room Deluxe. That's freaking insane. The blood all over her, even on the walls, the floor, and kind of her eyes bleeding out blood and her nose, I guess. That's pretty insane. This Eddie character, I'm really curious to know about. Clearly, I can tell because of the name of Eddie, this is like kind of based off of Eddie Van Halen, I would assume. A couple of Dustin variants, I'm totally fine with that because we all know Dustin is a fan favorite character in Stranger Things, and I'm sure these both are going to sell. And I kind of like that purple attire one exclusive to GameStop. Yeah, these are some pretty decent pops. And then if I were to obviously choose what would be my least favorite, I think it would also be MD's least favorite is those 8-bit pops, because why did we need these? We already had the singular ones and I felt like they didn't really sell all that well. And now you're taking pops that essentially didn't sell well separately and you're slapping it in a 4-pack with a Target exclusive sticker. I don't know. I'm sure some people will get it because they want the actual 100% complete set, especially maybe if you already got those rare ones from like 2018, especially that gold hopper. They could have added new characters, but at the same time, maybe that's a little bit of a spoiler per se. So maybe we'll get new characters later on, especially why haven't we gotten a pop of Bald Eagle? Like, come on. He was a cool character in season 2 and 3. So why hasn't there been a pop of him?
All right, so we have the Amazon exclusive Mangaverse Spider-Man, and this is pretty sweet. I'm excited to see a Spider-Man pop that isn't kind of the normal thing that we see, especially considering a lot of the Spider-Mans we've been seeing recently have all kind of been pretty similar to each other, I guess you could say. And I've been collecting a lot of Spider-Man pops, so I think that this will probably make its way into my collection because I really enjoy the attire. I like how, like DK said, the head sculpt looks really cool. I love how huge the eyes are. It definitely does give that kind of anime feel. And the the attire itself is cool. I like how it's a very simplistic body as terms to the blue and the red, and obviously the spider logo on the chest as well. It gives me like a video game vibe. Like it kind of feels like a Crash Bandicoot type pose that he's in. And the sneakers are cool too, that kind of look like Adidas with only 2 stripes there. So overall, I do like this pop. And yeah, I think it probably will make its way into my Spider-Man collection. And then we have the new pops for Stranger Things, which I'm super excited about. A bit of a spoiler alert, I do already own some of these pops. And today I actually am repping a Stranger Things t-shirt that was gifted to me by a coworker yesterday. So I'm very thankful for that. That was an awesome gift to get as a surprise, which was awesome. And I will definitely be repping this when Stranger Things 4 does drop. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. And these pops make me even more excited about it. And we have the Common Wave, which there's some decent pops in this Common Wave. And going off of what DK said, yeah, a lot of these faces definitely do look exactly like what the characters do look like. And I think that the big one in that is definitely got to be Mike. This pop looks so much like Finn Wolfhard, and I think that that's a really good thing. Looking to my right, I'm actually looking at my collection of Stranger Things pops, and looking back at some of the Mikes from the past, they did a good job of what Finn Wolfhard looked like when he was younger, and then going up towards kind of the season 2 and season 3 kind of stuff. They've definitely done a really good job on Mike pops, and I think they are underrated. And this is a great Mike pop. Really cool pop. I really enjoy that. But the rest of the set for the commons is great as well. Obviously, Steve being my favorite character looks awesome as well. And it's weird to see, well, it's kind of hinting at, I guess you could say, with the Steve and the Robin pops, how they both have the same kind of vest on. So I'm not exactly sure what this vest is for, if they obtained a new job together, or if this is kind of some kind of like camp outfit that they're wearing. Maybe they are like scout leaders or of some sort. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Robin and Steve will be doing in season 4 of Stranger Things as well. And the rest of the common set looks pretty decent as well. But let's move on to the exclusive pops, starting with the Walmart exclusive Lucas. This is cool. Obviously, Lucas will probably be on the Hawkins basketball team, as this is a basketball pop, clearly. So that's a decent looking pop. The Hot Topic exclusive Dustin is all right. It's not the greatest pop. He kind of just has his hands to the side, but I do think that the Dustins will definitely sell well because, like DK said, he is more of a fan favorite character. Then we have that Eddie pop, who is the new character so far for Stranger Things 4. And this is a pretty cool looking pop. I like how this pop looks. I think that the character design makes sense for Stranger Things. And yeah, they're probably basing this character a little bit off of Eddie Van Halen, which I don't mind. I think that's pretty sweet. The GameStop Dustin is a little bit better than the other exclusive because there's a little bit more going on. I think he has what looks to be maybe like a D12 in his, or a D20 in his hand, I would think, like a die. And then obviously there's a lot of purple going on with this pop, which is playing off of my purple bias. I really enjoy the color purple, so I do really enjoy this Dustin pop. And then the Amazon exclusive 11, that's an interesting looking pop. I am excited to see more of the kind of like backstory scenes from 11, because I'm assuming that that's basically what this pop is based off of. And then we have the 11 in the Rainbow Room, and this is insane. This is a really cool pop. I can't wait to own every single one of these pops because I am a very large collector of Stranger Things. And then lastly, we have the 8-bit Stranger Things 4-pack. And yeah, I got some stuff to say about this. First of all, this being in a 4-pack is just kind of absurd, considering that these 4 pops were already technically in a 4-pack together with the arcade cabinet box that you could get the 8-bit pops in. So I don't really understand it going into a 4-pack like this. And then also, if we're going to be releasing older Stranger Things stuff for the new season, there's so much better things that they could have done than what they've done here. Obviously, these are 4 pops that didn't sell well, and they are obviously based off the first season. Why didn't we get a new 8-bit set of 4 pops? Like, why didn't we see ones that haven't been done? Like, let's say a Steve, a Hopper, maybe a Joyce, and then maybe even like Mr. Clark or something like that. That like give us new 8-bit pops. I personally don't really like the 8-bit pops, but I do understand why some people would like them. If we're just re-releasing old Stranger Things things, and then they're also things that didn't do well, just not great. These are very bad, and there's so much more Stranger Things stuff that we could have seen, like Dylan said with Bald Eagle, or even the antagonist from season 3 of Stranger Things. We haven't seen a pop of him. So like we could have seen some older Stranger Things stuff that's not necessarily for Stranger Things 4 that would have been a whole lot better than this, but maybe they're saving stuff like that for some exclusives of like cons. But you'd think that we would see some characters like that by now, especially with kind of the hype of those characters already gone and past.
Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this week's edition of a Funko Popcast, make sure you smash that like button. Comment in the comment section below and let us know your opinions of the Funko Pops we discussed about in today's podcast. Press the subscribe button for more content like this podcast and any other videos we do on this channel in the future. And press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. And if you guys haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at a Funko Podcast. It'll be listed in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you for listening to this week's edition of a Funko Popcast, and we hope to see you guys next week on a Funko Popcast as we finally discuss about the Star Wars Celebration exclusives. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Mornings are for coffee and contemplation. Peace in, peace out.